boys and girls of the RSPW universe. Welcome to Talk is Fucking Saint. I'm Damian Saint, your host. I'm here alongside Prince Icon as usual. Fucking weirdo.
Big slatty dog, King Master, Poppy.
I don't know what I'm supposed to call you. J-Mac, aka now
Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison.
We're close.
Sounds like the name of my redneck step uncle. But I'm also joined side along a few other guests that aren't really involved with the company that much, but soon to be, maybe will be.
Fans as of right now.
Fans. So today is my first ever podcast with Harrison over here.
And it wouldn't be a podcast without me, so here I am.
Since Prince Icon has to be involved in them all. So first, let's ask Prince Icon one question. How do you feel about your promo being the most viewed promo of all time? And potentially being the first ever promo to hit 1,000 views. First ever video to hit 1,000 views in less than a month.
Yeah, that's actually really like mind-boggling. I know there's a lot of people who are like, this and that. The promo was actually like really good. I'm not gonna take all the credit for it. I'm obviously gonna give Desi a lot of credit because he
AKA Dayoung.
AKA Dayoung. He did a lot of shit in that promo and he told me to do a lot of shit. But I guess the thing to get views is just show my abs. My girlfriend's not gonna really appreciate that, but
it's okay. Most of them are men.
Yeah, one of these days we'll start getting paid for it, and then I'll take her to fucking the Maldives. So then she can't complain about it anymore. But yeah.
Right. And also, you guys know that the return show is April 12th. I'm currently in a match, but I don't know against who. Rumor has it that I may be facing a certain someone in this podcast. Are you going to be the one to answer the open challenge, big man? Should I get prepared now?
No.
No. So you're not returning?
No, it's up in the air right now.
You haven't signed a contract?
Nope.
No?
I don't think you want to.
Huh?
I don't think you want to.
No, I probably won't. I retired in a good way, sort of. So, I'm unsure.
When was your last match? Wasn't it the last pay-per-view?
Yeah.
The last match was me versus you versus Christian Cross.
Yep.
And I think...
open challenged.
No, you fought Desi and the triple threat.
Because the general manager wanted to really end my career and try to at least by putting me in a double match.
Dude, there's something we have to talk about. Dude, this fucking thing had so much potential, but it just flopped. Me feuding with you, who was AKA Phyllis Brown. Dude, I'm so mad that fucking failed.
I'm so mad you fucked his daughter and it never got like...
And one of them was a tranny.
Yeah. That was a great storyline. I remember being commentary. That shit was hilarious.
When he returned and told me, because the whole thing was I went to RBW to get away from them. Yeah. Whole time he comes out and he's like, oh, I'm general manager here. So I go back to RSPW, and then now that's what was the beginning of my reign now, where I was doing open challenges and all that shit, won the champion. But I mean, like, I feel like it failing led to open doors to more shit, me becoming champion, having my best reign so far, But there's like a part of me that still wishes like that feud like got to its full potential.
Yeah, it was like a general manager versus a superstar.
And it was like you were gonna do everything to keep me from my full. It was gonna be lit. Like and there was gonna probably lead to a big ass match. There's a lot of
screw overs and all that like involved in it. Yeah,
I miss our kept it going. We should have, but shit always happens. Something always happens.
Shit always happens.
I want to get into a little bit of your history. As J-Mac, as Jay the Bulldog, Jay the Bullet,
Jay the Anti-Bulldog.
Yeah, everything.
All the names.
I totally forgot.
There's a lot of time. I remember my comeback match. It was like way beginning in RSPW. I stopped wrestling because I hurt him. It was an after a match thing, and I had like Irish whipped him into the side of the ring and fucked up his knee or some shit. And I like immediately felt so fucking bad that I retired because I didn't want to hurt anybody anymore. It was like the second time I hurt somebody, so I just stopped. And then my comeback show, I fought you, and the first thing you said to me after the match was, it feels good to finally wrestle someone that knows what the fuck they're doing. And then that's kind of the reason why I stayed with RSPW and didn't retire again until I believe I fought TJ Jackson.
Yeah.
No, I retired before that and then came back. So yeah, I retired like 4 fucking times.
I'm not gonna. He who shall not be named is who that was directed to. We kind of know. We kind of have a feeling of who it is.
Definitely Grayson K.
That too.
No,
yes.
He wasn't in. This was this was before Grayson. This was like right after EBW died. This was like towards the early stages of RSPW, like maybe like 6 months into RSPW.
Yeah, it was.
I injured you because we were like actually talking shit about each other like at the end of the match.
Oh,
like,
never mind. I know
scripted.
exactly who that was about.
Was it
when
them?
I'm going to mention this, and this is not a sponsorship or nothing.
This was like 3 years ago. Does it really matter?
When I was part of EVW, I remember my first debut show. I had to face somebody that I cannot actually remember the fucking name. Oh, Killex.
The fucking
him.
Yes. Kilston and Killex. Oh my god.
I remember that very terribly edited video where he just disappeared
and died. Yeah, like
just no, gone. Like it's so bad. But I can't really talk too much shit about EVW since I was only involved in one show.
Yeah, he got super kicked by Gunn.
I remember.
I did, and you know it felt great.
Hold on.
But Dark Scorpion got tripped, and that was the funniest shit in the fucking
by his own partner.
Speaking of Dark Scorpion, I'm gonna go to a big ass throwback. The reason all of us are in a room together today is because of me and Dark Scorpion. Dark Scorpion found out about him and his group via his dad that they worked together. Then next thing you know, we take the long ass Uber trip, meet with them. Next thing you know, 6 years fucking later, we're all in here doing a fucking podcast.
RSPW's first ever match, or RUW's comeback match, was you versus Dark Scorpion on your trampoline.
Yes.
That shit was insane.
Dark Scorpion, believe it or not, is the guy who trained me. So, think about that for a second.
He does have potential. That's a fact.
He molded me into a fucking beast. I will give all credit in the world to Dark Scorpion. I really want him to come back for a few more matches. There needs to be some things that change about him. But I definitely think...
We don't want to get into that topic. It smells.
I definitely think with Dark Scorpion... I was about to say his name. Dark Scorpion is, like, definitely one of the best, like...
100%. I remember one of my first ever feuds with Dark Scorpion. I got fucking squashed. Like, I had a chair that didn't have the seat on it, smacked across my back. I also put him through a ladder that he almost got paralyzed through because somebody put a metal fucking bar under it. And it's very, very crazy that a few years later...
I can't remember what my first match with Dark Scorpion... No, my first match was with Psycho Scorpion, matter of fact.
Oh, Psycho Scorpion, that was such a good gimmick. I remember when the Prophecy had a feud with him. That was really fun.
And that was actually my first feud in RUW, was with him.
And yeah, that's when you guys did that hardcore match.
Yep, it was a no-holds-barred match.
You guys were like a tag team for like one fucking show.
For one show, we were a tag team.
You know what's funny? I remember how that tag team was formed. Wasn't it the triple threat between me, you, and him? Yes. And I came out in your truck and said it stinked. And then I won the match. And then you guys like teamed up and then never did anything with it. That's RSPW for you. Because remember the Betrayed?
And we had a good...
Me, you, and Chris Guys, we had like 2 matches where we came out together.
Well, we had a good run.
Everybody started forming teams. That was the team era. Because you had the A-List Mafia, the Betrayed, and the Prophecy.
And I was a part of 2 out of 3 of them.
Yeah.
I was a part of the Prophecy and I was part of the Betrayed. I used to be a part of JCR Core, one of JCR Core's factions.
A-List Mafia was really good. It just didn't have the right people. Like JC had the right mindset with that team, just not the right people.
JC's always had the mindset to fucking grab some of the newer guys and put them in a team and push them up, but they can never produce.
Exactly, that's the thing.
And that's happened every time. The only person that ever produced under JCR Core was Christian Cross.
Yeah, and that
was like for a couple shows.
The thing, like, it's like we always are like, we need to produce new talent. It's like what fucking Brock Lesnar said. We need to produce new talent, but nobody's putting up. So it's obviously going to be rinse and repeat with RSW because the only guys that ever put up are the guys that show up every single day.
Like, how many fucking views do me and you get almost every time we fight?
A lot.
Like, a lot. And it's like, it's not our fault it gets repetitive. We have no control over who watches it. Like, how many times have me and J-Mac fought? A lot. How many times have I done like an open challenge and he's been the one to answer it? Like,
oh my God. Speaking of matches with J-Mac, I remember me and J-Mac had this feud and I was going to drop the belt to him at our 3rd match. And then he didn't show up. So then that caused me losing the belt to TJ Jackson, like with the next pay-per-view after.
Speaking of fucking TJ Jackson, you also had a team with TJ Jackson.
That was
you guys were like the biggest heels in the company, but came out to Bruno Mars.
I loved that.
No, we didn't come out to Bruno Mars.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't. We came out to it was MC Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rob.
That tag team matched out me and you versus them 2. Perfection.
Oh yeah.
Perfection.
Me and face Damian Saint, face Prince Icon versus heel J-Mac and heel TJ Jackson. Insane.
Yes.
Who's doing that?
the spot we did. No, it was the handicap match when it was you two versus me. When you threw me over and J-Mac caught me in the powerbomb. Perfection. Perfection.
So, back to a different topic right now. The comeback show. Obviously, we know I'm in a match. Nothing's been confirmed. I know I have a match for the Northeastern belt. Don't know who I'm facing. And that's literally off character. Like, I really have no idea who I'm facing.
Pay-per-view in 10 days.
10 days. 10 days, and I have no idea who I'm facing. It could be anybody. It doesn't even have to be a one-on-one.
Like coming from like somebody like, cause I'm not in character right now, so I'm a fan right now.
Right.
I'm excited to see who the fuck comes out because as of right now, there's only 2 confirmed matches. Coming down, it's probably only gonna be 2 matches. So I'm excited to see, like, who knows? We could see.
Forget being excited for my match. As much as I hate you for not accepting my recent challenge, because you're an asshole, I'm more excited to see you and Dae Young go at it. Because last time you guys fought, a flat screen got broken and shit went crazy.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if the fans know this, but we built a ring, 9 pallets, some padding.
Last time me and Desi had a ring, we tore the mattresses off and started fighting on clean wood.
And that was after/before mine and TJ's match. Mine and TJ's match.
Do they do underage with like
And because I didn't want to wrestle like anymore, so I was like actually like I want to get my match done because I want to fucking go home. And I didn't want to stay, so I never stayed for your and Dae Young's match, and I regret it. But at that time, I was sort of in the mindset to like not wrestle anymore. I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be my last match. I don't want to wrestle anymore. I don't really feel it. And then right after that, like literally like a day after that pay-per-view, a guy, not gonna say his name, texted me. It was just about, so I heard you want to go pro. I was just like, I don't want to go pro. So I recommended Icon, Dae Young, and TJ Jackson because they're the 3 people who were the hungriest for it at the time. And then I take them to their first training session, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of digging this. I actually want to get involved. And then I started training, and then it just wasn't my thing. And then
definitely wasn't my thing either. I'm grateful, forever grateful for that guy.
I'm forever grateful too. Like I appreciate him giving us the opportunity for free. The fact that he wasn't charging us, and he was doing it out of the kindness of his own heart. I will never not be grateful. But I didn't like the way it was being done. It's just how I am. I don't like authority, and when people tell me what to do and how to do stuff, it kind of gets on my nerves.
It's just, at the end of the day, like, my thing with pro is, like, yeah, like, maybe I'll do take it professional one day, highly doubt it, but my heart will forever lay in the backyard of the house in Rochester, New York.
RSPW is always going to be my home.
That's where my heart is always going to be, because that's where I've, you know, like, I always say this, like, pro wrestlers shit on backyard wrestling all the time. It's not the right way to do it. We're not the right way to do it, but we do it our way, and our way is the best way to do it.
We've been doing RSPW for like 6+ years, just about, and after RUW, we really just decided, hey, let's do this, and we weren't taking it seriously at first. We were just doing it just to do it, and then all of a sudden, we're getting fucking views and all this other shit and subscribers. Like, we hit 500 subscribers within like the first 2 years, not even. And it's honestly insane, and we've always had a lot of support from everybody. As much as our parents really don't like wrestling, they've always supported us.
That's a fact.
And it's like now we're branching out. Like, I'm getting people in my email literally like, yo, like, how much for booking? Like, I'm not gonna obviously go down there. My heart's with RSW. But it's like the fact that people from other companies are willing to pay to bring us down. To do that shit is just saying, like, speaks all the volumes that we need. This really turned into a Prince Icon fucking Damian Saint.
It really did, because everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is WrestleMania night, so obviously we're chilling with a couple of RSPW homies. Some classics. We're just gonna talk about some shit. Let's talk about J-Mac, because this whole podcast is supposed to be Talk of Saint with J-Mac. So personally, we all know that J-Mac is the guy. We all know J-Mac is like one of the best characters we had. He always brings something new to the table, and for a guy his size, he shouldn't be doing some of the stuff he does. He's probably one of the best.
Especially with all the medical issues that I have.
I'm wearing a knee brace right now.
I'm wearing a knee brace. I have arthritis in the knees. I have scoliosis in the back.
And still out here doing the fucking what do we call it? Air Mac?
Air Mac.
Air Mac.
That shit.
I have a dislocated shoulder. The disc in my shoulder is dislocated. I'm still going.
But
No, I'm the guy. I'm kind of like the Mick Foley.
Here's the real question.
Personality.
Like, I'm not asking this as like a wrestler. I'm asking this as a fan, my guy. I'm asking this as a fan. We need a proper send off. Like, we need maybe a farewell tour. Like, Dae Young got it,
but then came back.
I feel like it's only right to go off on a farewell tour, get a match with everybody, maybe a few pay-per-view, like maybe another title reign. Like, I'm asking this as a fan.
Maybe the comeback show.
Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, the contract is not official. I have not signed anything. There's a lot of needs that I need met.
Like I say it, but
And-
I'm too pushy.
And I mean, in that contract, one of the demands should be a match with the guy.
The guy?
Yeah.
The guy.
Guy, him.
Yeah, it's just good.
The guy of RSW right now. I feel
His
like
brother,
that two different types
has
of
a
characters,
girlfriend, and, like,
head to head,
sister-in-law,
him.
She's a licensed hairstylist. So she
But you just said him. And I was
'Cause
like,
him.
but you didn't look at him.
Him is he is him.
I feel like the two different types of characters really would fit each other. Depending on what type of bulldog comes in, or depending on what type of prince we get. I mean, we've seen like an icon in Jay the Bullet Hunter feud, but we've never seen a Prince icon and whatever J-Mac you bring to the table.
And this whole new process we've been going through, like we thought RSPW was done for a hot minute, because once we stopped at the last pay-per-view, last live stream, we really just all lost interest, and we were just like, we got lives now. Most of us have jobs, families, girlfriends, a life to live. And then one day it just hit us. Like a fan must have said a comment, someone must have said something, and it sparked something. It made us all miss what we wanted to do. Like, I, for one, am the type of guy who is very stubborn. So if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And I gave up on wrestling. But for the past 2 months, and Prince Icon can vouch for this because he's my best friend outside of wrestling, I have been in excruciating pain doing intense workouts almost every fucking day. He's even seen that I've lost my little chubby belly gut, back to the six-pack. The muscle boy Damian Saint everybody loves to fucking see is back. And I didn't do that for wrestling. But it definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable to know that I'm back to the way I was, and I'm no longer...
If not better.
Yeah, if not better. And I'm no longer going to be that guy that's going to look out for everyone else. Because that's who I was. I was always looking out for everyone else. Like, I was always in a match where just like, I don't care who wins. In the middle of the match, I'm putting them over. And no matter who I fought, like, I went on a 13-match losing streak. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I really didn't. Like, I would lose to Prince Icon. I didn't care. I would lose to J-Mac. I didn't care. I'd lose to anybody. As long as they would produce, I really didn't care. But there was a lot of people who didn't produce. And I felt like, no egotistical shit, that I had a very good name. So I feel like if you beat me, you're obviously going to be something within the company. So it's like, when I'm doing that, it's very difficult for me to see someone like Grayson K or a couple other people I let beat me, and then they just don't produce and then cause issues within the company. Drift did it. Christian Cross did it multiple times. Grayson K did it. There's a lot of people that do it, and the only people that really produced was J-Mac, Icon, JC Hardcore, Dae Young, the same 5 people that are always there almost every show. And it's just like, I can only do so much for everyone else. So I've decided to take that step forward, as I'm no longer looking out for my opponent other than safety. So unless there's something that actually makes sense within the story, I can promise you this, I'm not losing. I don't care who I fight at the pay-per-view. I'm walking out with the Northeastern belt for the 13th time. I don't care if I'm facing the whole damn locker room. I'm not predicting it. I'm spoiling it. I'm winning. I really am honestly just saying that straight up. In character, out of character, Damian Saint is winning that match.
We were talking about earlier comments that like kind of like brought us back. Mine happened actually a couple of days ago. I woke up, I think it was last weekend, and on the promo that I most recently posted, Apache King made a comment, and it was wholesome. Like, Apache King's not really the type of guy to make a wholesome comment, but he did, and it was like, Icon's been the best wrestler since he was 14, and then just went in depth about shit. that, like, people realizing, like, what I've done, like, why I've done it, and at the young age I did it, sacrificing a lot of my, like, free time as a youngin', like, that shit like brought the best out of me. Like, now I actually want to have a good match, like, at the pay-per-view. Like, I wasn't really.
It's becoming more than just a video. It's becoming more than just something to pass time by. It's actually becoming so in depth in our mind that it's like we wake up and think, who are we facing? What kind of moves do we want to do? Like, what's going to happen next? And that's honestly the best thing about RSPW is there's never a dull moment in the group chat, whether it be drama or us talking about spots or anything. There's just never a dull moment in RSPW at all. There's always something going on, whether it be a huge return, whether it be a comeback, whether it be a new move, whether it be something that just happens randomly. Like when we did the throwback show, RSPW went throwback. We came up with that literally like 3 hours before the show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I'm coming out in shorts and fucking no kick pads, most uncomfortable wrestling gear you could wear.
Rug
Just
wearing like a
shorts.
bitch.
It was so bad, but it was fun and we didn't care, and that's what I want.
The one thing that I can promise that you're gonna get from me out of RSW's return for like the third time is that in the past I've had characters that have been just complete copies. I had a Ricochet gimmick, stupidest shit of my life. The Prophecy, I was kind of like gimmicking off Adam Cole and like Finn Balor. And then more recently,
you made it your own. Like, you can't say the Prophecy was copied because you had a lot of ideas that no one else was doing, and you brought in the right people. Not saying I was the right guy. Dae Young was the guy.
Dae Young was definitely the guy.
If it wasn't for Dae Young being a part of the Prophecy, I would not have joined. And the Prophecy was big without me even joining it. Like, I didn't even need to be there for the Prophecy to be good. And I don't care. Like I love being a part of the Prophecy, but I was really like the most useless fucking member and was just there for depth.
Yeah.
Like, I was just there to be the guy who had the muscles and the one guy that wasn't Dae Young. So it's honestly insane how much the Prophecy accomplished without me being there. And that's okay with me. I'm just happy to say that I was a part of it for the short time I was. And I know there was a lot of other people who were supposed to be a part of the Prophecy. Drift was the first person in the Prophecy. That really didn't go well.
It started off as the Prodigies.
Yeah.
And then turned to the Prophecy.
It was born into the greatest faction in RSPW history, and it was the greatest faction before I joined it. So,
one thing I can promise now is that my character is not based off anything. My character is me. Unhinged,
he is
everything. Like, no more want to be like somebody. My gimmick is me. That's all I gotta say.
I want to clear up a lot of things because a lot of people.
Does anyone want blue cheese?
Just order it. Just put it on.
Yeah, we're ordering pizza in the podcast because we don't give a fuck.
So, because a lot of people they don't know, like they know me because of you guys, but I want to let people know where I started.
Like a damn near 20-year vet for backyard wrestling right here.
He's 23.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'd be wrestling when I was 3 years old.
I was.
I had two uncles originally who were big WWE fans. Okay, huge, and they had a trampoline, so they would teach us like the basic stuff, like always like how to do a stunner
starts on a tramp.
and stuff like that. And then they moved, and that was when I was like 10 or 11. Was when I was learning this kind of stuff. They moved down south, and then that kind of left me like, okay, where the fuck do I go from here? You know what I mean? Because now I want to be able to do this. So me and my cousins started like our own little group or whatever, and it started out like you didn't have a character. You know what I mean? You didn't have a name. You were that person you were being. So I was always either Stone Cold or The Rock, right?
Yeah, I can definitely.
We know.
Clearly, so it's been said multiple times. But me and Prince Icon grew up together wrestling a fucking giant Bart Simpson stuffed animal. I would literally only come to his house with body pillows, and we would wrestle them on a trampoline. We would literally come out as the Shield with our friend Ariana, and we would just do this shit. We were singing our own theme song. We had these names.
Oh, man.
Breakdown and Sacrifice were our names, and we would sing our own theme song coming off the porch. And it was so cringy, and I'm so glad there's no recording of it. There's no anything.
It's like, but at the same time, I wish there was, so we can like use that in a feud.
Because that was molded. That molded us. Like, there was a time when RSPW first started where we actually like contemplated using those names.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, no, that's bad. Let's not do that. Like, my first wrestling name was Nightmare. Like,
My first wrestling name was Skeeter.
Was it really?
Yes. Me and my brother used to wrestle, and I had like a gimmick. It was like Zack Ryder, and I used to come out like being all hyped and shit. And my name was Skeeter. I did not know what Skeeter meant when I was 8, but I do
We
now.
were so perfect at just being a WWE superstar. Like, we used to pretend to be WWE superstars and pretend we had girlfriends, and that was the weirdest shit ever.
We would like do shit
It was weird.
to the pillows.
After that, when me and my cousin started to do like how you guys did, how you were the person you were trying to be.
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, somewhere around there, and I knew Gunner because Gunner is one of my best friends outside of wrestling, and me and him literally found Pier 6 Wrestling that is in this location where we're doing the podcast. It's in the same town.
My dad used to wrestle there.
Right. So we found them. We got to talking. That's why I probably have met your dad prior to that.
Probably.
And they took us in with open arms like it was nothing. Because even though we're young, we're 14, 15 at the time. Of course, we had signed prayer and consent saying if they get hurt, we're not getting sued, whatever. But they saw the potential that we had. And they literally put us in a match against each other as like a tryout match. And they had to choose either one of us. But they said, we're going to take you both on. And they said, you need to come up with a gimmick and you come up with a name. And Shelton or Gunner, because he doesn't wrestle anymore, so I'm just going to use his real name. So Shelton literally told me, he goes, I'm not going to wrestle here unless I'm your tag team partner. Period. So we talked to the owner, and he was like, yeah, why not? We need more tag teams.
Locked and loaded.
So
I think that's the one thing.
that Locked and Loaded came later. What actually happened first was 2291.
That's the area code for the registered sex offenders in the area.
So what Locked and Loaded came after. Originally, our names were Josh Morris or Josh Harrison was mine, and his was Michael Riley. And we called ourselves the Brothers of Destruction instead of the Brothers of Destruction.
Get it.
So we had this, my gimmick.
Should I explain it to him?
I'll explain it. Brothers spelled BROTHAZ of Destruction. So
you could put 2 and 2 together.
Yes. And my gimmick was based off, my entrance style was based off like Stone Cold and The Rock. My in-ring performance was based off Triple H, Undertaker, and a little bit of Stone Cold. I would do some kind of high flying, but not as much. That was all Shelton.
And we've seen a lot of that in RSPW, honestly. You've done a lot of crazy shit, like the X-Plex.
X-Plex, I love taking that move.
Yeah, it's so fun. I was afraid to take it at first, but it's so fun.
I remember when we came up with one of our matches, I think it was the I Quit match, he was like, I think you can land an X-Plex, and I was like, yeah.
I tried landing it once, but I ended up botching it, but I botched it and like kicked you or some shit.
We did the X-Plex, I landed, and then he turned around with a super kick, and obviously J-Mac's gonna sell it good. He sold it perfect.
He's the best seller.
I Quit match ended in a draw. I remember that because that was when you were with your ex at the time, and we had her involved in the storyline. So now,
hands down, J-Mac is the best seller in RSPW history.
I'd say
I don't think anybody does it better than you.
I got a lot of it from Gunner, aka Shelton. I got a lot of it from him.
There's something about you being so good at getting hurt.
And it's just the way that you can be such a big man and like a guy like me, 5'9", like 120 pounds, does a super kick. Obviously, in real life, you're probably not going to fall that much, but you make it look like I'm a 6'5", 330-pounder guy that just shoulder blocked the shit out of you.
And let's just clarify this. When I pick up J-Mac, he usually dead weights the shit out of me. Like, you don't jump. You don't help me at all. I have to work for that shit.
I want you to work for it because I want you to show your actual strength. I want, because what's the point of me helping you out to say, oh, he's actually helping him. He's distributing the weight. Besides you actually picking me up, and you can see that I'm not even helping you at all.
The first time I did it, you were scared.
Yeah.
Like when I first picked up, because you didn't think I could do it.
In all my years of wrestling, I've only been picked up twice.
Don't know his last name, don't know how old he is, or what he looks like none
One
of that.
including you.
And it's just like.
And that the first time was for Samoa drop, just quick and easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember the biggest thing that hit mine and Shelton's career was we were tag team champions for about a year and a half, and that took 3 years of being in the company, 3, to get there. And the part of the script was the owner was going to fire Shelton.
Right.
He was going to fire him. He was going to come back later on, but he was going to fire him for the storyline. But we sat down and was like, what if I get involved in some way to make that not happen? And he goes, well, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what if I get involved? You're hurting my tag team partner. I'm going to get involved.
Right.
So they played our theme song, which was, I can't remember what it was. And Gunner walks out. The announcer announces one half of the Brothers of Destruction. Please welcome Gunner, or Michael Riley. And we had a pretty good fan base for being at that young age. We had a good fan base. And he walks in, general manager comes out, he's talking all this shit to Shelton. And then as soon as he goes to say the words, you're fired, he gets you're out, and then the tag team music hits again. I come out from under the ring. I was waiting there for an hour.
Fuck that.
I was under that ring. Nobody was fighting or anything. So it's not like I was uncomfortable, but it's claustrophobic under there.
Right.
So I come out, and I said, if you're going to fire him, you got to fire me. And then the general manager goes to attack Gunner and push him out of the way. Gunner hits him with a super kick. He comes to me. That's where the X-Plex actually came into place.
X-Plex, that shit is beautiful.
It was a random in the moment move.
It's a work of
I told him I
art.
was going to suplex him because I would do a vertical suplex, but I slipped, and when I slipped, I let go, and I landed on my knees. Thank you. And after that match, or after that little get-together thing, Shelton came up to me and goes, what the hell was that move? I said, it was supposed to be a vertical suplex, but I fucked up. He goes, keep that, because that looks amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just like you're picking somebody up
It
and
feels
just throwing
amazing.
them.
And then Pete Dunne did it, and then we brought it back, and then I was like, Jamal, you gotta do this. I remember there was this one time when we got off the game. I think it was us three who got off the game. And then you texted me and you called me, and you were like up for like another 3 hours talking about move names for a new character you were gonna bring up.
That was when I was going to do
The All-American. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was based off the All-American Badass Undertaker, because
So-
he was my favorite.
We've talked about this every podcast, and you were actually a part of this match. We're gonna talk about me knocking out Grayson Gay.
I was
But
actually-
first,
that's when I came out in Dark Scorpion's
Yes.
mask, and that was supposed to be like we're the best friends thing, the Dark Scorpion and I thing. That was supposed to be where it started.
do you remember?
That match.
Because you guys both know this. When I go, if it's an important match, I will zone out. I won't talk to nobody for at least 30 minutes before the match. Like I will
Yeah,
be.
it's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Because you try to have a conversation with him, he's just fucking
I'm just-
staring into space, and you don't know if he's fucking pissed off or not. You ask him if he's okay, and he's just.
I just everybody knows I do that, especially for pay-per-view matches. But Grayson walks up to me and he's like, "Yo, you ready for this match?" And he's getting me, and he's like, "You know I'm getting put over, right?" So I look in his face, and I'm like, "Nigga, you gotta prove that shit. You gotta prove that shit." He ended up getting put over in that match, but I was
But
like,
in the end, who actually won?
me.
Think about it. Dude, I'm playing special guest referee.
And then I go over to him, and he's trying to play it off. He's laughing his ass off because he just got this nigga got knocked
dude, the whole
out.
match, dude. J-Max coming up to me on the side of the match, he's like, bro, he keeps stiffing me, bro. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. And I'm like, I can't do shit. So
I remember I got out because he did. I don't mind the forearms. I can take your forearms.
Yeah.
I can take yours. Because you
Well, I
draw
hit like
back.
a bitch. I hit
when
like
there's
a bitch.
time, you know not to put your whole entire force into it. He was full on stiffing me, and I could not take it anymore.
And yeah, when he was stiffing me, I was looking over a Hunter, and he super kicks the side of my head, and I like look back, goes to suplex me, no sell it, black mass.
Do you remember when you super kicked him, and he didn't sell it. And I was like, yo, he didn't even sell that move. And then you super kicked me, and I sold the shit out of it.
That move,
that match was pointless for me.
I did
nothing.
So after you knocked out Grayson, you're in there checking to see if he's okay, and the camera's just like, in the middle of the match interview, it fucking goes over to you wearing the match.
He was out cold.
I thought he was just acting until I saw his knees buckle. That said, yeah,
that match
it's over.
That is probably the most. That is probably the match that has made the absolute most no sense in RSPW. So it didn't need to happen.
That's when I just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna be the comic relief for this." And
you're always the comic relief. Dude, I love wrestling you. Don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10, every time we fight, it's always hilarious. Like we're just way too.
That's probably because
together.
of my selling.
It's not even the selling. It's just like it's hard not to do some or say some funny shit with you. And it's like you look at me and it's just like I just want to fucking laugh. Like I just want to fucking whisper in your ear something and just fucking make you laugh. You know a word I want to say, and it's just fucking hilarious because like it's like with me and Prince Icon, dude. We were literally in the middle of the match in a lockup, and a car alarm is going off like 2 houses down. We're in a lockup. And then we look at each other's face and tell each other's spot. And all you see is both of us turn our head this way. And he looks towards the camera. All you just see is us just start laughing. And I remember I was in a match with someone. And I fucking farted. Like a loud ass
You heard
fart.
it on camera too.
You heard it. And everybody starts laughing. And you whispered in the match, who the fuck farts on camera? And I lost. There's so many matches where
That
you can
just
catch
shows
me
that we
like,
have good personal life outside of entertainment.
I mean, this should show it. We're funny as shit.
like after I 450 TJ, you can see him smiling. Like he doesn't even sell it. He's just
that
like,
wasn't even out of laughter. That was TJ was just genuinely proud.
dude, TJ, we didn't plan it. I told TJ that I wanted to attempt it, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it because every time I attempted before, I got scared. And then TJ, after I fucking do whatever move I do to him and set him up, he grabs my hand and just says, do it. And I'm like, now? And I'm like fucking freaking out. You see me getting in the ring all fucking scared. I take off the thing and I'm like, and then I just do it. And when I'm getting up, grabbing my head because I thought I was dead because of mean ass whiplash, I'm grabbing my head. Icon's screaming in my face as loud as he can with the microphone, which isn't helping the headache. And then you see as the camera lifts up, TJ's just smiling. And then, like, after that, he whispered something to me later on the match. Like, later, he was just, I knew you could do it, cracker. And then we just started fucking going back into wrestling. It was honestly, that is probably one of my greatest matches of all time, other than the match I had against you at the pay-per-view where you super kicked me on my car and then knocked me out with the black mask where I couldn't remember the end.
I don't want him to feel mad. I want him to be
See,
like,
my favorite thing, like when we're going over a match, is actually with JC Hardcore. I'm not gonna lie. Remember that spot that I was going to clothesline him? He ducks, kicks me in the knee. That way I have to go down for a curb stomp. He curb stomps me. I oversell it. That way I have to go on my back, and then he was supposed to do a front flip and land on me, or do a flip and like a swanton right there. Do you remember how many times we had to go over that because he could not jump? He was too scared to jump. Like, we get the spot perfectly down, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, I can't do it.
I was watching that.
Everybody does that, though. Like, when I tried to do a shooting star, I did a shooting star in my match against TJ, but I landed on my neck on his elbow, like right on his arm. And it's such a hard move to do because you can't... Because if someone's laying on the trampoline and you go to, like, bounce next to them, you're risking slipping and you don't get a good enough bounce. It's very difficult to achieve something like that. And it's very difficult.
Let me ask this. What, this goes for everybody, I'll answer it first, but what was your biggest botch in all your wrestling history? My biggest botch was that mine and Gunner's tag team move.
I gotta think about that.
I can already tell you what Day Young's is, but I don't know what mine is.
Oh, Day Young.
My tag team move with Gunner.
The grill.
Yes.
It was this simple thing. It was really simple. It was not that hard, but it was so easy to mess up if you didn't do it right. So I would clothesline them in the corner of the ring. I would then tag Gunner in. He would then come. I would stand. I would stand right in front of him. I would put him on the top rope and wait. He would then run at me. I would catch him, throw him up over me. He then goes for a suplex, and while he's in the air with the we both would do like a double suplex, basically. So he would go for a suplex. As soon as he jumps, I then catch, like, with Shelton in my hands, and then I sit like I'm doing a powerbomb, and he's doing the suplex. It's the most easiest move to do. It really wasn't that hard. We practiced it over and over and over again. My biggest botch is that I actually threw him.
Even when I'm sad.
He got so much momentum, and I had so much adrenaline because it was for a tag team match, our first ever tag team to win that belt. We still won. But I had so much adrenaline in me. I threw him over. And he landed face first. Like, he sold the shit out of it. I got to give it to him. He sold the shit out of it. He went over.
Did he sell, or was it like
he sold it like he can land on his feet like he knew, but he sold it like it was supposed to be a botch, but it really wasn't. Not supposed to be a botch.
That's how
I threw him over me. He goes over our opponent and lands right in the corner of the fence to keep the barrier from the crowd, and he sold the shit out of that. Like, he landed and sold it, and then that was like that led to another botch of the other tag team. They went to go after me, and me and Shelton were supposed to bow down and have them flip over the rope. I slipped. My hand slipped from the rope, and I clotheslined Shelton with the rope because he wasn't ready. I dropped too early, and I slipped. So I literally throat chopped him with the rope. The guy still sold. He went over the ropes. But botches are embarrassing. I will say that, especially if you're in front of a live audience. Because it's like, shit, I just rehearsed everything trying to get this perfect to let these people know that what we do is not fake.
Yeah.
And when that botch happens, it is pure embarrassment. I was embarrassed for months after that. And I think it was, it was Shelton. He goes, everybody fucks up.
I told him I liked
It's a fuck up for a reason. He's like, your adrenaline was high. He's like, it doesn't matter. They thought it was part of the match, dude, because I sold the shit out of that. If I didn't sell it and I turned around and said, what the fuck? People would have thought that it was not part of the show.
Yeah. I remember
this whole time I'm trying to think of
one of my. I'm just gonna go off one that's very vivid in my mind. That it was Royal Kingdom. It was the final match. It was a 3-on-3. It was Gunner's return, and it was
this one hurts.
It was me, Day Young as Anti-Everything, and then Shelton Gunner was the third member of Anti-Everything, which was very random and didn't really make sense.
That was to betray me.
Yeah, and then it was Prince Icon, JC Hardcore, and you, right? And it was like elimination style, and it had previously like snowed or rained the other day, so the backyard we wrestle in basically has no dirt, but the place where there is dirt is just dirt. So it was muddy as shit. So I'm outside fighting with Icon, and I go for a bro kick. And when I go for the bro kick, my foot that I plant was slipped forward, and my whole shoe, this was before kick pads or anything, my whole heel of my shoe went right into the side of Icon's face. Like, and it was like a full-on, you heard the fucking...
I was concussed.
And he went inside, and you just see me disappear from the match, and I'm just like, I think I killed him. Like, that's honestly the worst thing.
Not even 3 minutes later, I was back in the match, though.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to do it. Like, it was just strictly because I was wearing actual real shoes, and I slipped in the mud, and I'm over here apologizing. Like, I thought he hated me. Like, I actually genuinely thought, like, he thought I did it on purpose. It was like, no, like, I'm over here making sure he's okay before I even get back in the match. And then that's another time where I contemplated retiring again, because, I don't like hurting people. Actually.
And then there was this girl named Allison who was trying to keep me. She's like, oh my God, you're concussed. You can't go back in that match. I looked at her and I said, do you know who I am? And I went right back out into the match and finished that bitch.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
And then I got put through a table by Johnny because he turned on me. Which that was
the hell out.
It was the start. It was the
that was really made sense in the early days of RSP. Shit just happened. There were so many attacks, so many turns. At any point, I could have just said, "Hey, you know what? Fuck you. You're going through a table." And then next week we're attacking.
Can we talk about the table? The time I got put through a table, that started the wave of being put through tables. When you put me through a table, that shit hurt.
I didn't even put any force into that either. I guided you down.
Yeah.
And it still hurt you. Yo, not gonna lie, I thought your mom was gonna kill me.
Yes. That's all.
But she knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
She knew it was gonna happen.
Same thing
but
when when TJ did the thing when he slammed me on the wood. My mom's reactions make the show, bruh.
The funniest thing about your mom is that so hilarious. But when we were doing our match, the most recent one, towards the end, the one where you beat the shit out of me and knocked me out, she said I was gonna win in the comment section, and I'm like, that's the first time she's ever cheered for me when I'm fighting her children, and I'm like, what did her children do to
it's
her?
Like, who really wants the princess to continue?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your mom likes me outside of wrestling.
Dude, she likes everyone unless they do something stupid. But she has no choice but to love me.
When I'm facing you,
oh, you're the heel. Even if I'm the heel,
hates me.
Even if I'm the heel,
she hates me.
That's
by
why
her looks that she gives me. I'm like, yeah.
This is the.
Remember, it's a match.
This is what I'm. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Then I'm gonna go off and start to watch WrestleMania. This is why, up until my recent heel turn, none of my heel turns would work. Even fucking when I was playing heel, the comments loved me. Everybody loved me. I could never turn heel. Up until the heel turn I just did, where I gave them no choice but to hate me.
In early RSPW, I was the same way. Dude, there was an actual time where people thought that I was paying people to only comment about me. Let that sink in. A 14-year-old, no job, no money, is paying people to talk about him. To like 100 people. How does that logically make sense? And and we're gonna wrap this up real quick. We're getting done. The one thing I do want to say is just like I do want to ask one more question, and I think I already asked you this question last time, but you can answer it again if you have a different answer. But this question's basically for you. What is your proudest moment in RSPW? What moment makes you J-Mac, like in RSPW?
Are we all gonna answer
like, this? If you want. I think I asked this the last podcast. I don't remember. But what is the moment in RSPW, anytime in RSPW, where you're your best moment? The moment where you was like, yes, I'm the top guy here now. Like, what's your moment, RSPW moment?
When I won the RSPW championship. Because, yes, in the past,
everybody
in my history,
was so hyped about that.
Huh?
Everybody was so hyped about that. We're all so proud of you. It was overdue.
We don't look alike, but I
and
swear
that,
can we see it again?
Can
we see it again?
Same mom, same dad.
Possibly.
Can we see J-Mac win the RSPW? Really?
Possibly.
Your little contract signing?
His dad actually
Right now?
married her mom.
Right now? Call him up right now.
So we're not really like stepsisters because
So, but the reason why that made me so proud was because I got shit on majorly when I went back to backyard.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
It's just a common thing. But we do it better than the pros, and I will stand by that till the day I die.
And that, like, to me, I was like, okay, I'm never going to be able to make it in backyard, and I'm never going to be able to go pro again, ever.
Yeah, I love her.
And I tried once, but no offense to the trainer, he's not the guy for me. After coming from, what I came from, but that made me feel so proud because not only was I felt like, J-Mac is, top dog. Or at that point, I was Jay the Bull.
You were somebody.
Jay the Bulldog.
You were one of them.
And what made me so proud was that not only did I get accepted from the locker room, no matter who I was feuding with or whatever, I got accepted from the fans. And I got accepted to the fact that my mother, like, she was watching that, like, I didn't tell her anything. I told her when it was uploaded. So she watched it, and I'm not kidding you. My mom calls me after the main event when I was facing JC Hardcore for that belt. And she called me in tears saying, I am so proud of you. And that right there made me say, fuck everybody who does not think a professional can go back to backyard.
Yeah.
Y'all can kiss my ass because I proved myself.
It's a very emotional thing when you think about RSPW. Obviously, we're more than just wrestling. We're a family. Family butt heads, obviously. We always have our problems with JCR Core. We have problems with everybody. Everybody, Shotgun, C2K. We've had problems with people in EVW. We've had problems with SW, JMac. We've had problems with everybody. And that's fair because, obviously people in this type of business are going to butt heads eventually. And I remember when I first met you, when I first met the people in EBW or first had the idea of you, none of you guys liked me or wanted anything to do with me because you only heard one half of the story.
I was the only person that was willing to give you a chance at that time.
Because
I saw your potential.
Because at the time, it's when I was in the middle of, going back and forth with RUW and everybody having their thing against me because, I was an asshole. I'll admit it. I'm an asshole. I'm a stubborn asshole that always had to be right back then. And I'll gladly stand by that. Obviously, I've changed. But back then, you guys only heard one half of the story, and like I felt that you guys were gonna come in and nobody wanted me to wrestle anymore. So that's another reason why at RUW I stopped and didn't want to come back for a while. And then I was like talked to by JC and everybody, and they brought me back. And then I got to meet you, SW, Gunner, and most of the EBW guys. And a couple years later, me and you are best friends. I spent an entire summer with you. We're talking about moving in together. And we have a lot of potential for both of us to grow. You're basically like a big brother to me. And every time I get in the ring with you, I know nothing's going to happen. You know, we're always safe. We're always protected. And I've always considered everybody from EBW family. You guys out in Brockport, what you guys do has always been family to RSPW. You guys are always welcome, obviously. And it's glad to be a part of this as a whole. And one of my proudest moments has nothing to do with wrestling. It's just my proudest moment is being able to say that I have started out friends with everyone that has ever been in RSPW. I've never started out with an issue with anybody. So that is probably one of the best things I can say about the company in general. I love RSPW. I love every company I've ever done anything with in the past, present, and future. And before we wrap up this podcast, I want Prince Icon to answer the question, what is your greatest moment at RSPW?
My proudest moment right now is me right now, where I'm at. Because I say it a lot in promos, but I was once the guy that would come out first and do the little slingshot thing, and I would do the clotheslines, and everyone would just know me as the high flyer. Never would they think 3 years later that April 12th will be my 8 months, and I've main evented every single pay-per-view in a row.
And you're the face of RSPW, and I'll gladly stand by this. Prince Icon is the best wrestler in the company, will probably be the greatest wrestler in the company and continue to be that. There's really no one on his level, and if there is, he puts them in their place and puts them down a level. That's just how it is. And coming from me, that's a lot because, you know, I used to consider myself better than everybody. There was a time because I was the only one that was trained professionally that I always thought this has to be done this way. And I was always the guy trying to be better than everybody. But now I'm being overshadowed by a dude who's younger than me, whooping my ass, knocking me out.
I've been overshadowed by somebody that's
making me look like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it's honestly great.
And that is the best way to put it. They make us, he makes us look like we're just some hobo on the street that said, "Yo, I just want to try this," and then all of a sudden,
it's because you dedicate yourself to your craft. You do a lot more outside of the company for the company than most people do. Like, I have a job. I'm always busy. The best thing I've done outside of the company is just work out. Like, I don't go out practicing fucking MMA and breaking people's jaws and shit. So I don't do all this shit. I'm just working a 9 to 5 and just coming home and sleeping and wrestling on the side. So I can't really put myself in GOAT conversation unless the conversation has different topics. If it comes to all time, Prince Icon has it in the bag, no argument. Simple as that.
My motto's just always been the same. I feel like there's really nothing I can't do. And if you feel like there's nothing you can't do, then there's nothing you can't do. If you feel like you have restrictions, there's going to be restrictions. It's just at the end of the day, your mindset is what you're going to be. If you have a mindset that you're the greatest of all time, you're going to be the greatest of all time. Can't nobody tell you different. I was once a 5'3" kid at 12 years old who nobody thought would grow into what I am now today. And I did that. It's because of the people I got to look over. Like, the people that I was underneath, learning and developing under, turned me into what I am today. I wouldn't be the same if you didn't put me over 95% of the time. I wouldn't be the same if that 3-match segment we had, you didn't put me over all 3 times except for the one tie. Same with JC. Like, he did get put over a majority of the time earlier, but now he's seen what I turned into. He wants to fucking tag team with me now.
And it's RSPW is becoming a lot more than what it was. We've gained 40 plus subscribers in the past 3 months, and we've only posted promos. 40 plus subscribers off promos. No matches, no anything, no promotion, just promos.
That's saying a lot right there.
And just videos of us speaking.
And I was only in like 1 or 2 of them. And Prince Icon's been in 95% of them. There's a lot of things that are going on in RSPW that you will see at the comeback show. There's just a lot of stuff that is rumored. There's a lot of stuff that's coming up around. Hopefully J-Mac signs a contract and answers my open challenge. But if he doesn't, I'll fight anybody. I'll even fight Jesus again. But that's okay. So we're going to end the podcast. I would like to thank J-Mac for coming on to the Sa1nt Podcast. I've been trying to get him on for like a couple weeks. Keeps dodging me though.
Bob and weave.
Bob and weave like my dad. Okay. Now we jump back in. I want to thank Prince Icon for joining. At this point, it's the Talk is Prince Icon, Damien Say podcast at this point.
Talk is Prince Saint.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you tune in April 12th, 2 p.m. You probably won't be seeing it on that day because we're not live streaming because the quality is the absolute dog shit. So you'll see it when it gets uploaded, but it will be happening on that day. Better watch it. Better make it the most viewed video because if you don't, the whole entire RSPW roster is going to come to your house, lick your toes, and do stuff to your cat that you won't like. Like and subscribe, comment. See you later, you motherfucking pieces of shit.